Great to be with everybody, especially talking about bowl games. And, what I would say is obviously we're very excited to be heading to Mobile and playing in the LendingTree Bowl. A bowl game is always a reward for what was accomplished in that specific season. And for the 2020 team, this was truly earned and recognizes the successes this team had, but also the dedication, the discipline, and the sacrifices and the resilience they had to have on a daily basis since returning to campus in June. And based on the enormous challenges everyone faced this season, to end up playing 11 games, to win 5 with a very difficult non-conference schedule, go 4-3 in the league, and finish with a 3-game winning streak, there's no doubt this team deserved and earned one of Conference USA's bowl spots, and I am very happy for our players, our coaches, and everyone associated with our program that we get to play one more. There's only 66 teams that can say that. There's only 33 bowl games this year. 68 teams make the NCAA tournament in men's basketball. So this was legitimate and it was earned. And obviously when you're playing this time of the year, it's a good thing. And we are very excited to be one of those teams still playing.
This is Jared McDonald with the Daily News here in Bowling Green. This question is for both you guys. I know I usually start these Monday morning things asking Tyson about the health of the team, but I'm mixing it up this week. This year was a lot different. They waived the bowl eligibility requirements and everything. You never know when you're going to play, when you're not. What was the whole process like of getting a bowl game this year and accepting that bid compared to years past? And again, this one is for kind of both of you to get your both perspectives.
Do you want to start off with that?
Sure. This year was a year unlike any other, as we all know. And there were a lot of the experts, people who get paid to talk about and cover college football, were pretty outspoken in the spring and summer that they didn't believe we would have a season. But I always believed we could, and more importantly, so did our players and our coaches. And from the moment our players returned in June, they made it clear they wanted to have a season, and that's what everyone's goal was. And nobody was sure what it would look like, but we tried to block out the social media noise and the misinformation and just make our decisions based on the facts and logic and not fear and emotions. And our players and coaches deserve enormous credit for focusing on what they could control and just staying locked in. And I think the most impressive thing with this team is they went from 1-4 in a COVID year to now having an opportunity to finish 6-6 with a bowl win. And I really hope we can do that, because that would be quite an accomplishment, and it speaks volumes about the character of our players and our coaches.
Yeah, just to echo what Todd said, I really think there was a lot of commitment that is outstanding that you don't see across the country throughout all universities. I think our university and our athletic department really stepped up to the plate. The minute we recognized the fact that we had an opportunity to play, they were fully committed to the process because our kids were committed to the process. And that's unique in college football, to be honest with you, to be tied together and linked together, and have a bond that's pretty strong, and I really felt like, and our kids felt like, our team felt like throughout the whole year that everyone was committed to being able to try to put together the best possible season we could. If you look back on the full body of work that we had, it's pretty special to say you got all 11 football games in. I know we had that last one that had a little bit of delay, but we can honestly say we played all our games, and that's pretty impressive. And to have the challenging schedule that we had, and then, to be able to sit here today and say we're playing in the postseason, that's always our number one goal, is we want to be playing in the postseason. And to be able to sit here today and go to the LendingTree Bowl and have one more opportunity to try to go get a win and send our guys off right, that's pretty special. So we're excited for that opportunity. Our guys are excited for that opportunity. And it's a result of all the hard work that everybody's put in this year.
This is Nick here from the College Heights Herald. This question is for Todd Stewart. So the coaches, like Tyson, Helton, who have been up to the podium for, post-game press conference, or if it's Monday morning, have given you guys credit for making this season possible. And so what's kind of, been keeping you motivated to keep sports afloat here on the Hill in the fall, and now you have this big spring that's coming up?
Well, I mean, everybody's had a role to play, and from an administrative standpoint, Zach Greenwell and Craig Biggs and Mike Gaddy, chaired our return to campus committee. That obviously we started having those meetings back in the spring, and really from an administrative standpoint, we just wanted to essentially put the foundation in place, the medical components, just make sure that we adhere to all the protocols to give us a chance. But it's nice for people to recognize that, but really the credit goes to our players and our coaches, because they're truly the ones. I mean, I can't imagine. I'm sure Tyson, along with all the coaches, could write a book on this year and all the things that they had to do as coaches that you would not have to do in a normal year to get your team ready to play. And our players, I mean, you can't overstate the commitment and the sacrifices they make. I mean, they're getting tested 3 times a week just to be able to practice and play. And essentially their best chance to have a season is to not be a normal college student. It's to wear a mask, it's to social distance, and it's just to not do the things you would normally do as a normal college student. And to their credit, whether we won or lost each week, they came in the next week locked in and focused and did all the things that they could do. And there's some things obviously we all know we can't control, but they did all the things that they could control to give themselves a chance. And the fact that we were able to play 11 games, one of the few teams in the country that did that, and to fight through the adversity and have the success that we've had, especially finishing the way we did, you really can't, in my opinion, overstate the job that our coaches and our players have done.
This is Hunter Smith with Go ahead.
This is Hunter Smith with WBKO. This question is for both Todd and Coach. But, what does going to a bowl game mean this year with all the unique challenges that y'all faced?
Go ahead, Tyson.
Well, it means a lot. First of all, football is extremely important here at Western Kentucky. I think it's something we take tremendous pride in. There's a foundation that's set here that winning is important and trying to, put a good product on the field and something that everyone's proud of. That's really important here. And kind of that standard of going to a bowl game, that's a goal every year for us. And no matter, that's why we're proud this year to be in the bowl, that with all the things that we fought through to get to today, and not only COVID, but things are going on in our society and issues and people are, it was much more than just football. I mean, the personal lives of our players and coaches and families and, a lot of people were asked to step up to the plate and we took a lot of pride in that. And I look right now at the bowl scenarios and our team is happy and excited to have another opportunity to go represent Western Kentucky. And, that says a lot about who those kids are. It says a lot about our university. Says a lot about our coaches. I'm extremely proud to be a part of that. For us, it's always been the goal. This is the goal, is to get to the postseason and then try to go win that game at all costs. And, in a year that we're having and what we're living in, it's great to have the opportunity to do that. And we embrace that challenge, and hopefully we get this last one. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Geography from the is that you, Nick?
From an overall program standpoint, I mean, we're now doing this for the 7th time in the last 9 years. And that's something that we are very proud of. The fact that postseason play has become the norm for our program. And a lot of players and coaches have played a big role in that. But it's not easy. I mean, every year is a new year. Obviously, this year in particular was not easy. And sometimes the criteria vary from year to year. And you should never take it for granted. I know you all probably remember, but one of the 2 years we didn't make it during that stretch was in 2013. Bobby Petrino's lone year here as our head coach, when we actually went 8-4 and had wins over Kentucky and Navy, but didn't go to a bowl because the Sun Belt only had 2 bowl tie-ins that year. So, after having gone through that, we have appreciated every opportunity that we've had.
Matthew Hargrove here with the College Heights Herald. Sorry I cut you off there, Todd. I have a couple questions for Coach Helton. The first question, Coach, you're now 2 for 2 with going for bowl games in your head coaching career. Just what does that mean to you personally?
Well, again, it's the goal every year, and it's the standard. When I wake up every morning, I have a vision for what I want this program to be and the goals that I want to attain. And so it's great to have the honor to be in another bowl. It's great to have been here 2 years and to be in 2 bowl games. But really, for me, that's the standard. And so now that we're past the excitement, and when we get off this call with you guys and we're past the excitement, it's time to roll up our sleeves and go to work and try to go now win a bowl game. I think it's one thing to get there. It's another thing to go win it. And so that becomes the goal. That becomes what we're shooting for. And again, that's the standard. And so I'm honored to be a part of that and part of a place that really does everything for this program and for me to try to be successful, to obtain the vision and the goals that we have. But now it's time to roll up our sleeves and go to work. And now let's go try to go win this game.
And also, what can you say about this Georgia State team? Have you started looking at their film?
Yeah, so just diving down into them, really just getting into them right now. Found out last night. We immediately started watching film to get a feel for them. Our staff's working really hard to get the game plan together. We'll practice tomorrow, have a normal Tuesday practice. I know our kids are really excited to get out there, and now that they know who they're playing. But a good football team. Coach Elliott does a great job. He's established a strong winning program there. Offensively, they can put points on the board. You look at their record. I mean, they're like us. They've played some tough football games, they're against some really good opponents. And so their losses, I don't think they really, you can look at it and go, well, they're sitting here at 5-4 and look at that record. I think, they're a really good football team and their losses were against teams that they had an opportunity to win that were good football teams. So we're about to face a really good opponent. They'll be excited to play us. Obviously, I wasn't here, but a couple years ago they played us in the bowl and got the better of us. So, to have an opportunity for that rematch for some of our older guys, I'm sure that, that'll be something to try to look forward to. But at the same time, I think, we have tremendous respect for the type of football team we're about to play. And we're going to have to bring our best effort to go win that game. But excited to have a quality opponent in Georgia State to go play in this bowl game.
Jared McDonald with the Daily News in Bowling Green. This question is for Todd. You always talk about the athletic department being the front porch of the university. And last summer, the study was released about the exposure that the football team and the athletic department brought to the school, and a big chunk of that was the First Responder Bowl. From an exposure standpoint, what does this mean to Western Kentucky University?
It's huge, for the reasons you stated, and that's why we did that study a year ago, is we wanted to have an independent firm analyze things so we could get a true and accurate assessment of the impact that we thought was there, but, we wanted to verify that. And, Bowling Green is not a large media market, so postseason games and television opportunities are our best way to expand our program and to let everybody know about our players and our coaches and our university. Again, athletics is the front porch of a university. And so when we're successful, when we're getting exposure, that's also shining a bright light and a favorable light on WKU. And this will be our 8th national TV telecast this season. So that's enormous exposure. And, the study we did last year showed that the bowl game alone, the First Responder Bowl, generated $13 million worth of exposure. And I would expect, with this year being a Saturday afternoon game on ESPN, to have a similar impact. So that's huge.
I got a question for both Todd and Coach Helton. Matthew Hargrove here with the College Heights Herald. New offensive coordinator and Zach Kittley. What can you tell me about him?
Really excited to have the opportunity to hire Zach. I think he, is a dynamic coach that's going to bring a lot of energy, brings a new flavor to the table. Obviously his body of work speaks for itself, to be honest with you. He's done a fantastic job in the 3 years that he was the offense coordinator at HBU. I think, he's going to be able to bring another dimension to the offense that I'm looking for. And so I think we were very, very fortunate to be able to get him on board, and glad we were able to do it right now at the time we're doing it, so that once we get done with the ball game, we're ready to be able to make that move, turn that page, and get working on for next season. So really, really excited about him being with us. I think he's going to be a really good fit. And I think looking forward to what we can do with him as our offense coordinator.
Jared McDonald with the Daily News. Again, this question is for Coach. Going off of that, what does that mean for the rest of the staff? Is that staying intact, or are some people leaving? And obviously with him taking over as offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, what does that do with Coach Ellis?
Well, Coach Ellis is with us on staff. Coach Ellis is a part of us and plans to be here. I think Coach Ellis is a tremendous football coach, and I think he brings great value to our program. And so I'm looking forward to him being a part of what we're going to do offensively. He'll be working in an offensive role position. We're going to get through the season and then sit down and talk about some other things. But, today he's going to be with us coaching the ball. He'll still be the offense coordinator in the ball and be running the show. Looking forward to that next step with him, hopefully with us when we get back in the new year and get going with the offense. But, Coach Ellis has done a very good job being our offense coordinator, and I'm glad that he's with us. As far as the rest of the staff, we're going to get through this bowl. This is the time of year where that coaching carousel starts to turn and opportunities start to come available for coaches. And so there's really not much I can comment on that, till we get past all that process. But, as of today, I like where we're at. I like how we're situated for the bowl and who's going to be coaching in the bowl. And then, things turn fast after that. Guys get opportunities to go places and do things. But we'll always have a very good quality staff here. And again, that goes back to Todd and his, ability to provide the resources and the tools we need and to help us any way he can. And so I'm excited we were able to get Zach Kittley when we did, to be honest with you. I wanted to get that going and secure that. And I think that was the first big piece in the puzzle. And then all those other pieces will come into play once we get back in the new year.
Hunter Smith with WBKO. This question is, again, also for Coach. Just what does Kittley bring from a recruiting standpoint, just because he has that tie-in with Patrick Mahomes and he was receiving praise from Cliff Kingsbury?
Yeah, it's instant credibility. I mean, when you're starting to talk to an offense skill player, quarterbacks or receivers, skill players, the proof's in the pudding. You look at who he's coached, you look at the production he's put up, you look at the people he's learned from, you look at his tree that he's come from. It all speaks for itself. And then you add on top of that he is an excellent recruiter. He is a great communicator. He can sell a vision, of what he's trying to do. So I think, it's going to help us tremendously from a recruiting standpoint. And we're already seeing the signs of that, to be honest with you. So I think you can check every box there as far as to say, okay, what does he bring to the table? I don't think there's a box unchecked in that scenario.
This is Nick Keyser from the College Heights Herald. This question is going to be for Todd. I know that the last time that we spoke, we had mentioned that there would be budget shortfalls, and we've been very thankful to have games this year stay one of the healthiest teams and stay healthy among, all the other sports on the Hill. But is there any update as far as some of those shortfalls go, more specifically?
No, I mean, we, embarked on a plan, back in the summer and early fall to deal with everything, and it involved quite a few things. I mean, virtually every member of our staff and when I say staff, I mean all coaches and staff, has taken a salary reduction and will continue to take the salary reduction. I know the university fortunately was able to change course, but we're going to need to keep doing what we're doing right now. We need to still make sure we get through the spring sports and have an NCAA basketball tournament, and then assess things in the spring. But it's been a shared sacrifice. The teamwork of everybody has been extraordinary in terms of just understanding where we are, not just as an athletic department, but as a society, and essentially rolling up their sleeves and doing what they have to do. And every sport program has obviously managed things very carefully this year. But I feel like we're getting through it as best we can. And certainly, football making a bowl game, I think speaks volumes about their ability to do that. And, I would expect in the spring for us to have success and all the sports, just as we always have. I mean, the goals don't change, even though sometimes the opponent does. And we've just got to manage through this. I feel like with the vaccines that are now out there, that's a tremendous development that gives us light at the end of the tunnel. But we've still got to be smart about how we do things over the next few months.
Question. This is Jared McDonald with the Daily News again. This is for Coach Helton. We've seen a number of players enter the transfer portal. The last time we talked, you said KT was still with the team. He was going to see things through. But since then there have been some others. Tyler Witt, Roger Cray enter the portal. What's their status for the bowl game? Are they still going to be with you? Or are they away from the team at this point?
Right now, KT has decided to move on. Just the timing of the bowl and his opportunities. He won't be with us with the bowl. All the men that you have mentioned up to this point all do want to play in the bowl. And, it goes back to my previous comments. It's kind of going to be the new way of the world, to be honest with you, for recruiting. And we got to be able to embrace it. When I sit here as a head football coach, I have to say, hey, if I want what's best for the student athlete, that's a part of it. And so, these guys are going to look to see what their opportunities are. Obviously, we love them. We want the best for them. They're our brothers. They do plan on playing in the bowl game. We'll see whether, they come back or not. Every situation's different. But it's one of those things that it's really not about anything other than them having an opportunity to do what they think is best for them. And I support that, embrace that, and try to help them in any way that we can. And I think they really appreciate that. I think as long as you have open and honest communications, that's all you can do, And so, there's two ways to look at it. There's this guy might be leaving us and, look at the downside, but I always say, hey, I don't even want to say half full, the glass may be full. You never know. You may in the back end be able to get somebody that's even better, as much as you hate losing a particular player. So you got to be able to brace it. And I think the people that do, they'll at the end of the day, if they play their cards right, they'll be even better off. So, but as far as I know right now, a lot of our guys want to play, that even though they might be after this game doing some different things, they love Western Kentucky. They love their team, and they want to try to get this last win.
Jared McDonald with the Daily News again. This is for Coach Helton. After you said you were going to sit down and have some of those conversations with some of the seniors, some of the grad students and stuff like that about whether they'd be returning next season with the extra year of eligibility. Is there anything you can say about who may or may not be coming back at this point?
No, not at this time. That you guys will find all that out as they come. And I think it's fluid. It's very fluid, so football season's just ending. I think over the next couple of weeks, you're going to see a lot of the transition going on. So I really can't comment on that other than what you already know.
Anything else for Coach Helton or Todd?
It's for Coach Helton. This is Jared with the Daily News. It's a little bit off topic, but early signing day in a couple of days. What's the process been like this year? Leading up to this with kind of the weird season with the extra year of eligibility, and what are kind of your expectations come Wednesday?
I think, we'll probably have maybe a handful of guys, it's been a different year. So I'm not really if a guy wants to sign and he's for sure and we feel good about it, then yeah, I'm all for it. But I want to take my time. I want to go through the process. I know these young men do as well. So I see it being, again, another fluid process where you're going to see us picking up guys throughout the spring. You know, you got the early signing period right now. You got the other signing period coming up in February. I think you'll see a good portion of that, a lot of teams picking up a lot of guys. But probably for us, you're going to see it from here all the way up to the beginning of the spring semester, you know, of just picking up a guy here, picking up a guy there. You know, that's really how I'd like to play it because, again, it is very fluid. It is a different year. And then as, you know, the transfer market keeps playing out throughout the spring, you're going to see, you know, guys coming on board. So it's not the normal year where it's, hey, let's go sign them all on signing day. And I don't think it's ever going to be that way again, to be quite honest with you. But in a perfect world, I'd love to say that, you know, we got most of our guys somewhere towards the end of spring, and we feel good about it, you know, and I think we're on a good path right now.
One more question for you, Coach. Matthew Hargrove here with the College Heights Herald, talking about the new coach in Kittley. Just how important is it, talking about recruiting again, to find a new QB with the new QB's coach coming in?
Well, I think I've always made it clear that competition brings out the best in everybody. And we're always looking in every position to try to see, is there a better player out there that fits us that can upgrade our football team? And again, our job as coaches and our responsibility to this university is to put the best product on the field. And to do that, you better be bringing in good talent every year. So the quarterback position, as you know, is the key position. So every single year we're looking who's out there, who's available, and try to get the best guy that we can. And this year will be no different. We'll be looking in the quarterback position to see if there's guys out there that can compete with the guys we have right now. And that's really every position. And that's my job as a head coach is try to outsign the ones you have, because that's going to bring in the best. That's going to make you have the best football team to put out there on the field.